Oh yeah! Boom, boom, boom.
Thank you for coming on into the live and sharing your essence with me in this eternal moment of which we all share an inextricable and inexorable part. Thank you for doing your part, for coming on in each and every day, and we'll do the same without wasting a single second of your time. Bada bing, bada boom, we go into the charts. So Bitcoin got a little bit of a push to the upside. Did we guess that that was going to happen towards the weekly candle close? Oh yes, we did. And we got an average view time of like 6 minutes on yesterday's update. Were you there for it? Did you catch that idea up to that zone that hit to a T up at that liquidity pool at 734? Or were you enjoying your weekend like I was? Either way, there's always another move, there's always another play, and let's go see what it's in store for today with High Block Capital. What is high block, you say? Well, people lock their liquidity into the charts to get burnt to a crisp by the market maker for not using a stop loss, and we get to see where those crispy characters lie in wait. So let's do it now. First, starting with the 1 minute time frame. So the 1 minute time frame is 7 days of information. Others get lost to Father Time as we go forward in time, so we lose all of that imbalance, and it's now lost. But it is in the higher time frames where we can see this liquidity still existing, and it did come up to that partner in crime of that 303 million 25x pool that we talked about. So those guys are now eliminated.
Fatality.
And yes, after that they came down to some 100 extras down at 34,472 and eliminated $119 million of those neophyte breakout traders.
Fatality.
and the market has no mercy. So let's go into the higher time frame because we have lost a lot, and it only has the chop of the sideways consolidation after the move to the upside. So moving to the higher time frame pools. All right. Does my voice sound better than other times? I added some effects that I had turned off. It gives it a little bit of a delay in my head, so I need to take one ear out of the equation so I can hear my live voice. But other than that, I think it should sound better. Yeah. So going to the 7-day time frame, you will see that there is some pools up above at 35,350. About $10 billion that they could come up to, and it looks like they could come into that region within the space we're at. A little bit more draw to the downside, but that would be a huge drop to 30,750, and they are inducing some more to fund the journey higher if they're so inclined. Let's go to the monthly and take a look at that pool above. The monthly has about $8 billion up at 35.3. So the entire path up to there, maybe 15 billion in total, leading to 35.3. That would be a reclaiming of this 3 hits to the high idea. Have yet to recover the entire wick at that 36K region. We could be inducing to make that thing happen on the monthly. Going to the 3-month. Let's go see how it is going. Yo, what's up? Wait, what? Let's make sure this is loaded properly. It says we got a viewer, but... Alright, so... 3-month time frame. 3-month time frame is going to take some time to percolate some liquidity up above, majority of it down below if they sweep the lows at 33.2 and 32.8 region. We already have that mapped out on the liquidity zones. Overall, the draw to the downside here on that 32.8 region, I don't expect it to go beyond some of these vector candles just yet. They're going to induce some shorts and make the shorts pay a little bit more and not give it back so easily. But what do I know? Eventually it will go down. 35.4, 19 billion up at 35.4 on the 6-month, 18 billion at 32.7. The 35.4 draw is closer than the 32.7, so coming up to 35.4 for that $19 billion sweep could be the case. You got 55 billion up at 36.3 on the 6 months that they could eventually be drawn to as well if they induce some more. So I wouldn't be looking for that swing short just yet. Or at the bare minimum, you should be taking profits and setting stops to break even for a better entry. You got 133 billion at 36.4 and 78 billion at 37.2. So you could be coming to reclaim that wick at some point. Looking below, you have 28 billion at 32.8, 16 billion 32.4. The ultimate draw coming down to 23.6 at 261 billion, just like we came and swept these pools up here at the 33 region with the 700 billion. We could come down to those sub 23 at some point into the lead up to the halving after they make the shorts pay a little bit more. Let's go back to the monthly and go into the charts to check out the Momo and the fibs. All right. So we were talking about coming up to this region, 34,735. It went 34,748. So we were off by $12. They just put a little bit of money extra into there for good measure. But coming into that to the weekly candle close was what we were talking about. This little 34,687 region is the weekly touch zone, so wanting to keep the weekly close high was the idea. They have yet to hit that pool down below, and this one too, so we'll leave that there for now. And let's go ahead and throw on the momentum. What is the momentum, you say? Well, the link is in the description for more, momentummaster.info. You can toggle everything in the features section, see Bitcoin at its bottom before we knew it was a bottom, the baselines, the trend cloud, the stochastic array, all of these things give the leading insinuation of reversals before the price even knows it wants to reverse. Similar to us having this nuke here just before it topped out and the rocket ship before at the bottom of the journey. Now we had the 5 time frames oversold to the 4 time frames oversold, and that higher time frame led it to the promised land here. The X's being a majority of higher medium time frames with the diamonds here, so started to get that push up on the stochastic array, reclaimed the cloud, and boom, to the upside. Okay, so where do we go from here? Let's go ahead and make our descent through the daily time frames. Shout out to everyone here. All 0 of you. I don't know what's up with the algorithm. The algorithm is messed up, man. So we got a day and an hour before the 3-day close. Had the gravestone doji, and now we're leading into a potential push up to that adaptive. Going to the daily time frame had that 5 time frames oversold close within that daily, so getting another push up on the daily. Let's go ahead and take a look at the oscillators here. The Williams average coming up to the Williams here could cross at a certain point. MACD lines starting to come together, have yet to cross the money flow, and the RSI overbought and close together with the daily starting to come down, but could easily get that burst up for a double top scenario. Coming to the 22. The 22 is now starting to reset in a manner here. The Williams still gave a false alarm back here. And then we will see if this gets a little bit of a burst to the downside at some point. We do have these larger pools down below at 34,119 as opposed to the 25 million in shorts. There is more long liquidity that they could keep retracing down into on the 1 minute time frame. You got 133 million at 33.84. I believe that was what we had here. 33. No, that's, yeah, we had 33.84, 32.8 here. This pool. All right, and going to the 12-hour time frame. 12-hour time frame is oversold, starting to get a little bit of a rise here from that oversold status. The money flow beneath the RSI suggesting that it wants to burst up a little bit, and it did. And if you go to the 6-hour, 6-hour also starting to get that little bit of a burst. Four-hour super trend, and the cloud still holding this. The cloud here now getting a little bit of a thinning occur as we try to drift up here with slightly little to no volume. These blue candles are stopping volume candles, different from these green vectors. So the stopping volume candles are just that, stopping volume price to stop out the shorts. So does that mean we see a kind of double top scenario here where it starts to fade down into this region? After the weekly candle close, you are getting a cross-up event of the baselines here on the 4-hour. So does that give you some little bit of a stochastic push to the upside while you have these 3 things in effect? You have the super trend, the cloud, and the baselines in your favor. Does that mean you get a little bit of a burst here? Okay, so going to the 4-hour, it is overbought on the stochastic, so you could get this little bit of a pullback at some point in 8 minutes after the weekly candle close. Coming to the hourly. Hourly time frame starting to reset in a manner here. When it goes sideways like this and holds a range while the probabilities of the stochastic go down, that does insinuate bullishness as it holds that range for more upside. So do we have that? We took out that 303 million. You do have a thicker band up here still. The 117 million up at 34,906 is still on the table, as is a 111 million pool at 35,158. Yeah. So rocket in a hard place. If we go ahead and go to the lower time frame of the 15 also getting a little bit of a reset here above the cloud of the Clan McCloud. So this trend cloud is holding with the super trend. Do you get the baseline cross up here? Okay, so by the looks of it, it's holding the super trend. So you could get a little bit of an hourly flip of the possibility of the 15. It is kind of ambiguous at this exact moment in time. Yeah, you're kind of at an ambiguous point, getting overbought and oversold. All right, so we'll let that percolate for a little bit and see how the daily closes and reset some of the stochastic data. Let's go look at the stochastic here and see how it resets. We had a value at 83, 77, and negative 12. So we'll see how that closes in 6 minutes. Meanwhile, let's go look at the Dixie and so on and so forth to see what's going on there. So we are potentially seeing the Dixie draw up to this 107 region. Started to make that draw and consolidate. Could be making that push as well. We already reclaimed these vectors, so are these fair value gaps, so I'm going to, and we hit this range, so this was a plan that came together. We held the super trend here on the daily, so we are holding this to lead up to this gap and beyond. Perhaps there is another fair value gap up here. If the Dixie does continue up into this region, the risk on assets like NQ could continue more to the downside here. We had the nukes for you at every step of the journey since basically July. We had a nuke up here, we had a nuke over here, we had a nuke over here. Every one of these reversals had the nuke and the rocket ship, so it works on everything pretty much. And if we look on the USDT dominance, people putting their money back into the trades, and it doesn't look like they're doing it for the total. What the alt's getting a little bit of a surge here. Most likely that, what we looked up algo, I remember. So let's go see what algo went into. We talked about it going up into that region, came back down, came back and kissed the cloud. Here is that kiss to the cloud continuation idea. This was a nice cloud kiss continue. Very clean. And this is the perfect idea where you see this thinning of the cloud, the selling volume waning as we go into that cloud, and it shifts, and then boom, that is where you get the major gain idea potential. I'm happy to look at any alts if you're willing to ask. Same thing for total. We came back to that cloud, held it, and boom. Third hit to the high though. Beware, it is False Move Monday, October 30th, so we could get the topping out into the weekly close and then kind of fade into London and New York. The Bitcoin dominance. The Bitcoin dominance made its way up into the 55% region and got a cool down nuke here. It did taper for a while, letting the alts do their thing slightly, but the trend to the upside and kiss to the cloud insinuates that Bitcoin dominance will go up a little bit further. If it goes up and the USDT dominance also does the same, this already played out, so we can take that off, take this off, take this off, and start fresh. So as you bang your head up against this cloud on the 4-hour, this 4-hour cloud does have the angle to insinuate at some point that you do burst through, change this trend, this super trend, and then continue on your merry way. So we will watch to see how that reacts at the cloud shift idea on the dominance. If the dominance wants to surge, that means people getting kicked out into USDT, getting this rounded out bottom, double bottom idea. And back to Bitcoin. Same thing, double topping, double bottom, double top. It's the same potential. One thing you have in your favor is the cross up event of the baselines. Let's go to the 6-hour. Cross down event still intact, holding the fat boy baseline. If we go to the 8-hour, the baseline still looking to close in a manner here. We got the 12-hour baselines cross down against you. 22-hour baselines cross down against you, and we're going to the daily, about to close in 22 seconds with the weekly. Closing just below that daily touch level at 34,687 and just below, creating a wick type scenario. Let's go to the weekly and watch it as it closes with that nice level here. Boom. So this now algorithmically sends us new data and triggers some algos to take effect leading into the close. So that algorithmic sauce begins to percolate, and we look at the daily. The daily did basically not change at all. I believe it just curved the angle of the KD lines here, which is interesting. So let's mark out the level and say what's up. So we got 35,158 and 34,906. 34,906. And what was the other one? It was 35,412 for the entire clearinghouse sale. That would put you just above the wick. But if they were trying to clear the shorts one last time, they would go up to these regions. 1, 2, 3. I mean, the false move Monday nature of it all. Seeing a little bit of a push down to the 50x. They pay the 50x more than they pay the 25x. So coming down to that 34,107 would be the nearest draw as of this moment in time, which is why we're projecting it down to here. So coming down to this region at that 33,842 and testing the super trend one more time could be what's in the cards for this moment in time. What's up, effing book? Hey, how you doing? Spragadocious, what's going on? How's the sound quality? I added some wavelength effects I had here. I had paid for these effects and I had them disabled because it gives a delay in my head, but I think it sounds better actually. So I was like, maybe let's throw on the effects and see if it actually makes a difference. So yeah. Well, on that note, I will, if you don't have anything you want me to look at, then I will bid you adieu at this point. It's interesting how I can do a 20-minute analysis, and for the most part, it's pretty on point. So we'll just leave it at that. We don't want to beat a dead horse at this point. Got stuff to do, things to do. My friend got back from a trip. He went to Ukraine, so I'm going to go say what's up to him. All right, so let's see if you got anything to look at. No? Sounds good. All right, nice. Well, on that note, ladies and gents, I will bid you adieu. So thank you for coming on into the live and sharing your essence with me in this eternal moment of which we all share an inextricable and inexorable part. Thank you for doing your part, for coming on in each and every day, and we'll do the same, bringing the fire, the accuracy, the precision, all that fun stuff. And we'll catch the Momentum Master members for the NQ Live inside